Welcome to this week's episode of the Ramblin' Runnels podcast, hosted by Jesse Runnels. This week will definitely be a solo podcast. And I could have arranged for Jill to be on here, but it would have been like a Skype podcast, so it wouldn't have been the same probably. But this week the podcast will end indefinitely from here on out, unless we decide to move back somewhere to Louisiana, but I doubt it. I am in Illinois now. What they call the Metro East of St. Louis. I'm in Maryville, Illinois. It's where I live with my in-laws presently. Which, I don't know. It is what it is. It's not too bad of a situation. I get, free dinners and whatnot, so can't complain. But, as I'm recording this episode, I am 1 week down, finished with, working at my new job here, which is with Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville, with the dental school, which is in Alton, and I work the IT help desk position there, and so far I like it, and it's been good coworkers. My boss was really nice. Everyone's there is pretty nice, and no complaints thus far. The days can go fast, which is good, and it's good hours, 8 to 4:30, so I can't complain thus far. My only complaint is, which no one can control here, is the weather. I think my second day there, it snowed in April, which was strange. It actually stuck to the ground briefly in April, and that was the first time I've ever seen that. I think that's pretty rare for here. And I had to, we put all our stuff in storage. I had to put all my stuff in storage. And I had to dig out my jackets for that one day. So it's a little crazy, but whatever. And it wasn't too hard to drive in because I'm not, too used to driving in the snow, but yeah, I was able to do it, so it wasn't too hard. So right now, me and Jill are, technically separated, but not, separated because we want to, but because of, life changes. So Jill's still living in Louisiana and staying there to sell her townhome, and she's getting it ready and everything, and I'm up here working and looking at houses for us. Speaking of which, we just put an offer in for a house, and they counter offered, and then we accepted that counter offer. So yeah, hopefully we get that house. We'll and hopefully there's anything too wrong with the inspections when that happens. So yeah, that'll be good and exciting news to live there. That house is also in Alton, so it's a nice old house. So it'll be good, and it's a big house too, which will be a change from us for us because we're used to living in 1,000 square feet. So yeah, it'll be good. So yeah, that'll be a good change of pace. living in the Midwest has been, I don't know. I don't know really all. I mean, people kind of talk a little different here, but not all that much. They just kind of sound different, I guess. I haven't really noticed that big of a difference, honestly. Um, People haven't asked me like Louisiana things yet, which is good. They just kind of asked like, I don't know. They didn't really ask anything yet. I don't know. People usually ask me about food. I remember the most, like, because I'm from Louisiana, they ask me to bring certain types of food, which is kind of, or make it, and thinking that every person's that Cajun from Louisiana and can cook like that. It's not true. At least not, I can't. I mean, none of my parents are actually from Louisiana, so I'm not Cajun really at all. So, a lot of people that I know around here, or, well, let's say two people I know who are from around here, put a, so there's this restaurant in the St. Louis area called Lion's Choice. It's a fast food restaurant, and it's supposed to be kind of like Arby's but better. And I recently tried it, and yeah, I get what all the hype's about. It was really good. I wish I got the bigger sandwich, but you live and learn. But you can add the cheese sauce on it, just like you can in Arby's. So that was really good. I did notice a difference with the meat. I think they season it, and I want to say it's just salt. Tasted salty, but I could be wrong. They could add extra stuff. Nevertheless, it was good, and I enjoyed it. They had good fries. That's about it. Since I've been here, I had a lot of custard, frozen custard. Seems to be a big thing around here. Is frozen custard. I don't know why custard, but I guess it started with Ted Drewes in St. Louis. I don't know, but it's all really good. I've yet to have emo since I've been back. And if no one knows what Emo's is a pizza chain here in the St. Louis area. And it's a different kind of pizza. It's kind of like a wafer pizza. It's kind of like on a cracker crust. It's real thin like that. And they do that kind of style crust. But the cheese is different. It's called Provel. I'm not really sure what it is. It's like really gooey cheese, melty. It's delicious. If you're ever in St. Louis area, I recommend Emo's. Firstly, probably, I don't know, people talk about Ted Drewes. I've never been there, so it's probably really good though. And yeah. I'd recommend the zoo here. It's a really good zoo. But I've been to it a few times. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know what else has happened to me. My job's near the statue of what was the tallest man in the world. I mean, I guess he technically is still, because he is the tallest man to ever been recorded of his height. He was like 8'11", which is pretty interesting. That he grew up in Alton, Illinois, of all places. But I mean, I think he was that tall because of like that that gland disorder, and that was before they could like get the medicine to diagnose it. So yeah, he didn't live very long. I think he was only like 22 or 23 or something. It's sad, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, 8'11". There's a chair out there for him too, and it's like ginormous. But yeah, it's real sad. I don't know. Yeah, we moved in here last weekend. Or I moved here. Jill helped drive the U-Haul here. And that was exhausting. It took like 14 hours because we drove the U-Haul and pulled my car. So we couldn't go necessarily that fast. So that really adds a few more hours because of that. So, yeah, always keep that in mind anytime you're traveling via U-Haul. You know, because if you're towing something, it's always going to add more time. So, yep. I was worried the whole time that my car was going to fall off and cause a, fiery crash on the interstate. Excuse me. But that never happened. So praise God for that. But yeah. What else? So I'm finally rid of all the terrible Baton Rouge drivers. When I lived in Baton Rouge, it was god awful. How bad the drivers were. People would drive nuts there. The only thing that's bad about drivers here is they like to speed. They just like swerve around you and go really fast on the highways. But, I can live with that. So I'll be I guess the grandpa driver out there, even though I'm, 32. Whatever. I'll just be safe. And hopefully nobody hits me. So, yeah. But yeah, it's strange having to live in a new place and not know where to go. I'm constantly using GPS everywhere I go, most places. So, I don't know, it's kind of like an adventure every day if I don't know where I'm going to someplace. But I think before long I'll figure it all out. But, one thing that's neat about here is that it's all like different towns everywhere it goes. It's not like Baton Rouge, where Baton Rouge is like this big area and it's all Baton Rouge. It's kind of cool going from like one little town to the next. Like here, I drive from Maryville to Alton, and there's probably like 4 or 5 towns in between there or something like that. So it's pretty interesting to, that kind of changes, pace and seeing those kind of things. And I don't know, I think I like it here. It's different, but the weather's different, but it'd be a lot colder. But I should get used to it, and we know a lot of good folks up here and family, and yeah, maybe one day I'll get over my fear of heights and finally go up inside the arch and see outside of that. Well, I don't know, part of the issue with that, it's really tall. It's so tall, you can see it from so far away, and which makes me a little nervous, but, it sways. I think it's like that because of, this is kind of like in the tornado zone part of the country, so you have to worry about that kind of stuff, so, yeah. So that's kind of what makes me nervous. You get up there and it sways a little bit. To me, that's kind of freaky. But, what's some other things I haven't done in St. Louis? I need to go to a Blues game, which is a hockey game. That'd be pretty cool. And to go to a Cardinals game. I've never been to a Major League Baseball game. That would be awesome. Yeah. And I don't know. There's probably a few other things I could go see, but I don't know. It would all be pretty awesome to see, and Yeah. Well, I don't know. I do like it here. Oh yeah, I could go to the Ozarks, even though that's kind of far away. Maybe since I'm like kind of adapted into the Winters family here, well, that's my wife's last name, but my brother-in-law went to Mizzou, and maybe I'll end ties with LSU, even though they're just a bunch of like sexual harassers. I can join the Mizzou clan and be a Mizzou Tiger fan. I don't know, it's still SEC, I guess. I don't know. They're pretty decent in basketball too, so maybe I will do that. I don't know. I would like to go to one of those football games. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe go to the Indy 500. That'd be pretty interesting. Because I've been getting into motorsports recently, but even though goes in circles, they do go like 240 in those little cars, so that'd be pretty exciting to watch. So I don't know, who knows? But anyways, I think that's all I've got. Maybe we could go to Chicago eventually to enjoy Chicago properly. There's a lot of places around here you could go to. So, never been to Iowa. That's kind of close. I hear Iowa's pretty. Maybe go to John Wayne's home. Probably not. He was a racist. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that's, all I got for this first Midwest episode of many to come. Well, I've done episodes in the Midwest before, but this is the first Midwest will be the home location for the podcast. I'll have to change that in my podcast description. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and like and subscribe to the podcast, and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can find it on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and also if you want to follow me on social media, you can on Facebook, Jesse Runnels, Twitter, Jesse_Runnels, and Instagram, Jesse.Runnels. And if you want to send topics, you could send to me on any of those social medias, or at my Gmail, ramblinrunnels@gmail.com. Anyways, yeah, thanks for listening to this episode, and thanks guys. Goodbye.